This afternoon, I will be your host as we briefly discuss the topic of gratitude in this Transformation of Self series. My name is Alex TD, and this is a look on the surface. When the word gratitude is mentioned, notice what thoughts come to your mind. Are they positive thoughts, neutral thoughts, maybe negative thoughts? Pause for a brief moment just to consider what your initial associations are to this word. If you're anything like me, perhaps you'll notice that while there are some pleasant, happy memories that exist, perhaps they seem buried. Perhaps they seem buried underneath mountains and mountains of expectations. Where did all this expectation come from? Graciousness, gratitude, gratuity, gratefulness. Gratitude was intended to be a very natural and spontaneous expression of thanks and thanks for someone else's kindness to us. So how then did we come to a place in our lives where gratitude is expected? If it's expected, it's no longer a spontaneous expression now, is it? This is troublesome. Perhaps you yourself have some of these expectations, or perhaps you can think immediately of those who do. If someone does something nice for you, do they get upset if you forget to say thank you? Was there someone in your family who was incessant and insisting that you remember to write thank you cards for every little gift and card that was given to you on a birthday or Christmas or some other holiday? Does your girlfriend or boyfriend or spouse, do they wait for you to do something? Perhaps open a door, take out the trash, anything else? They don't say anything, they'll just pause and wait to see if you do it or not. These are very subtle symptoms of the kinds of damage that has been done in our society. Why do I bring this up? Partly from my own bias. I have my own damage regarding gratitude. You see, anything that becomes a buzzy, trendy buzzword, well, there's something to be cautious of. So while yes, I do fully agree that in self-help or spiritual related communities, the practice of gratitude certainly does wonders. I'm not here to argue that. There's nothing to argue about that. However, how are we supposed to practice something that we hold in a negative experience ourselves? That's the troublesome bit. Gratitude journals, gratitude this, gratitude that, gratitude your whole life away. Then we sit here months later with our pages filled, sitting in frustration, wondering why this is not working. As we've mentioned before, unfortunately, there's some shadows or some very subtle damage that has been done surrounding the topic itself for our own experience. I've worked with someone specifically regarding this, where much in the same way that affirmations can feel like a lie to oneself, this expectation to practice gratitude, to uplift and empower one's life, seems to create this sense of inner bullying, this inner whipping for not doing something about it, for not doing better, for not feeling for not feeling better or improving in some way, shape, or form. So when this was brought to my attention that this damage around gratitude was coming up, my question was, what do you feel towards the word appreciate or appreciation? The light bulb went off and I could see it. There was a much, much clearer distinction towards something positive, towards something hopeful, when that change of wording was provided. So while appreciation may not necessarily be the jump to gratitude that many of us may be hoping for, if we consider in financial terms the word appreciation, it's a gradual rising to something. And then in this very same way, in this very same practice, by focusing on what you can appreciate about something or someone, you can gradually raise yourself to feeling and experiencing gratitude. Appreciation is very peculiar in the sense that even something or someone that you absolutely detest, it is still possible to find something, no matter how menial, to appreciate about that thing or individual. Consider that. If you're watching television, or if you're scrolling on your phone, your mobile devices, and you see this bombardment of just detestable pictures and photos and advertisements and warnings and posts and this and that, what can you appreciate about any one of those things, or all of them? For example, perhaps you have a group of friends on social media who are incessant about posting things that you simply do not give a shit about. In looking at that, what might you be able to appreciate about those friends incessantly posting about shit that you don't care about? Perhaps you can appreciate the fact that they have found something that stirs them enough that they are voicing or expressing themselves regularly, somewhat maybe consistently. And in appreciating that, maybe even allowing that to be a reflection for yourself. What might I care about enough to voice or express myself incessantly or consistently about? So not only are you taking this as a piece of something that can be okay for them as an individual, you are also making the effort to integrate that particular appreciation as a piece of yourself. Not that you're taking the exact things or the exact subject matter, but there is some positive quality, some positive aspect of anything with which you dislike or detest. And in extracting that positive quality, you can then take that template, bring it to yourself, turn it around, and face it. And within your own experience, applying yourself to that same template. And when you found the answer to that question, it becomes part of you. This happens on a very subtle and subconscious level when we read books, when we watch TV programs or movies or Netflix or what have you. Oftentimes, subconsciously, we look for those things which we already wish to identify with. So, this character, this event, that circumstance, we can already apply ourselves naturally, seamlessly to those things. But for the sake of gradually raising ourselves to a natural, spontaneous expression of gratitude, we can appreciate ourselves by finding that which we can appreciate about others. I hope you'll find this helpful. Very simple. However, it can be complex when starting this particular practice. My wish for you is that in continuing this practice of appreciation, you will find once again that spontaneous expression of thanks for that which you have around you and those others that are around you. And perhaps with the gradual dissolution of these expectations and pressures that you may be feeling, maybe at one point, someday soon, no longer will there be the need to take anything for granted once again. That'll be all for now. I thank you for your time. My name is Alex TD, and this has been A Look on the Surface.